was not meant to happen. This could not happen. This is happening.
We are back, episode 35 of the Coach's Son podcast, here with my fellow co-hosts, Stephen and James. Steve, we missed you last time. We had a great interview last week with Tom. How you feeling, Steve? You're back. We missed you.
Yeah, I could tell. I listened to the pod. You missed me big time. I messaged Tom privately. I was like, sorry I had to deal with these two bullfeds. But good to be back here with number one goal scorer and Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah. James, how you feeling? We're back, episode 35. It's a big week. The countdown is on.
It is a huge week. And just speaking about, obviously, Tom, it's great to have him on the podcast. Thanks very much, Tom. He did say it was the best podcast he's ever been on. It might have been the only podcast he's been on, but it's the best one so far. But thank you, Tom, for joining. But yeah, huge week. The countdown is on to the Premier League season.
It is.
But also something else had just finished on Saturday. One competition ended, one starts. Adam, what wrapped up on Saturday?
What caught your eye?
The most televised sporting event in history finished up on the weekend. Putney Rangers Division 2 season came to an end. That was a wrap. We finished strong. Started strong, finished strong.
Hey, someone finished strong.
He did finish strong. He did.
Do you want to tell them everyone what happened, or should I tell them?
Yeah, we're just going to go to a commercial break first.
I'll tell them. So James was in the women's breakdancing competition. Nah, there was another. Actually, I wasn't there, so I don't want to. Yeah, shout out to Ray Gunn.
Well, I'll quickly mention I had vantage point of this because I actually came off the field injured. So I was on the sidelines cheering him on, my fellow co-host James. But you describe it.
He was injured, and he even got up out of his seat to applaud. That's how good it was.
It was a miracle.
Now, let me tell you, it may have started with a long ball, Route 1 football, but it ended in a flourish. The finish. I've made a run off the shoulder of the centre back. Me making a run, but I trust my striker partner to get a flick on. He got the flick on. I've taken the ball on the half turn, facing the sideline, right? On the chest, on the half turn, enticing the centre back just to come and get the ball, come and take a nibble, because I know he's still got to get around my whole body. As he goes to nibble, I've flicked the ball up over him and around him. Now, this centre back, he's gone for a hot dog. I've just sent him for a hot dog. He's on the way to the canteen. He's already ordering his Big M and his sausage roll. And I've got the ball through on goal. Now, I'm telling you, I'm about 10, 15 metres away from goal. And again, Adam can validate this. I've seen the keeper off his line, scrambling.
10, 15 metres away from goal.
From the 18-yard box, sorry.
18 yard.
10 minutes outside the 18-yard box. The ball is on the half volley. Keeper is scrambling. The absolute vision. Outside of the foot. I don't know if anyone remembers Cahill's goal back in the A-League against, it was in the Melbourne Derby. Exactly the same season. I had more skill. Outside of the foot. On the half volley. In and over the goalkeeper. And as promised, ladies and gentlemen, the meat shoe did come out. What a goal it was. You had to be there.
Yeah, if only there was video footage. We're working on it. But you know what, guys? I'd love to say it was lying, but word for word just there. It was true. We finished the season with a goal like that.
Hey.
And
it doesn't matter. It
was 6-1, but as we say always, last goal wins, baby.
You know what was the best? I was so I was so tired. I was screaming, last goal wins. And I forgot that they scored after I scored the goal. And then turned around, I'm like, yeah, we just scored a reply.
Yeah, because you were just walking back from when you were celebrating still. Now they scored again.
I told the ref, you may as well just start the game. By the time I walk back all the way, it's going to be Christmas. So I thought let everybody know.
Shout out to the Putney Rangers Division 2 team. We had a fun season. Unfortunately, it didn't go as we wanted, but we finished up. So hopefully I'll better luck next year. We'll see how we go.
Love how you said we didn't finish up strong. We finished up.
We finished
tell you,
up.
right?
We just wrapped it up, mate.
Just wrap
We
it
wrapped
up.
it up, mate.
Hey, listen, we come in, we score a goal this season, we go home. That's it.
See you
Done.
later. Mate, well, we've got a fun episode today. We're gonna run through our EPL table predictions for this season, where your team is gonna finish. We're gonna let you know where we think they're gonna finish. We've also got a cheeky, maybe a couple of other bold predictions, maybe a cheeky golden boot. We'll see down the end of the session, but we'll see how we go.
And you
Should
can't
we get
pick
into
yourself,
it?
James.
Should we get into it?
Let's do
Should we
it.
get into it? All
Sure.
right. How are we starting this? Are we doing alphabetically, or are we just going 20 upwards?
20
yeah, we just
and
do
up.
20 upwards.
Yeah.
No worries.
20 and up.
No.
And we'll discuss it.
Worries. You scored the goal, mate. You lead the way. Tell
Obviously,
us.
it's always tough to try and pick, 20 to 1. But we're going to do our best. I reckon we'll clip this and we'll see how close we did get. I reckon competition at the end of the season, whoever got the most right wins Coach's Son t-shirt.
Yeah.
So
geez.
Hopefully I'll win so I don't have to ship it out.
I wouldn't mind one. But I think much like last season, the newly promoted teams that come up are going to find it tough. I think same is again. I've gone 20th place Southampton. Look, the reason for I had a look at a few stats before about their season last year. They copped 1.4 goals per match last year. I was in the championship, right? Now we saw with Burnley might be going fluid attacking football and wanting to attack and whatnot, but if you're conceding goals and the Premier League's a different kettle of fish, it's not good. The other two stats, which I thought were quite interesting. Now, people are probably going to laugh at this and go, what does this matter? But they were 22nd out of 24th for accurate long balls per match and 22nd out of 24th for interceptions per match.
Wow.
Why is that important, I hear you all asking?
Sure.
Long balls, you're getting out of trouble. Quite simply, you want to find a target man, you want to try and find feet, you want to try and retain possession up the field. You need as much of a breather as possible, especially in the Premier League when you get absolutely hounded by these Premier League sides, especially the ones that like to play high up the pitch. You need that. And interceptions per match. I think the way the pace of the game of these today with these teams that play, I mean, you talk about slot ball, Ange ball, how fluid Arsenal are in attack as well as City are in attack. If you can't get anywhere near those players individually, you have to try and cut out those passes. And if you're not doing that, you're going to struggle. So, unfortunately, sorry, Southampton, but you're going down 20th.
No. I mean, it's a fantastic stat. Thanks for bringing it up. But wasn't N'Golo Kante leading in interceptions back when Chelsea and Leicester won the league? They finished first.
That's what I mean. They weren't doing any interceptions.
Oh, sorry. It was the other way around. They were
Otherwise, correct.
22nd out of... Oh, sorry. I misheard you. Okay, that's pretty rubbish.
That's what I mean. I'm just going to go... if you were listening, if you had your headset on, I don't know what you're wearing
I had
now.
to change it up. But you know what? I will say I've got Southampton at 20th as well, so I'm going to back out on that one.
See? Thank you.
So do I. This is the first time we've ever agreed on something, I think. It's all three of us.
1 to 20. Wow.
You know what? Let's hope we prove us wrong, Southampton, because you're starting off strong.
Yeah.
Right down the bottom. Right off the bottom.
Who are they versing? Can we bring it up? Who are they versing?
They're versing Spurs?
Nah, Spurs got Leicester. Spurs? No. Where are we? Who are we looking for? Newcastle. Oh.
Yeah,
Newcastle away.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Yeah. So they copped 1.4 goals per match last year. 22nd out of 24 in accurate long balls per match, then 22nd out of 24 in interceptions per match. So all three of us agree, and the stats back it up. Southampton 20th. Sorry, guys.
There you go. All right,
See you
moving
later.
on to number 19.
Number
Still
19.
in relegation zone.
Now, my team here, I've got the name with an asterisk. Now, I've got Leicester. The reason why I've got an asterisk next to them, because they have got potential to start the season with a 12-point deduction.
Yeah.
And I told you before the pod, I'll tell you why I think they're going to get relegated. I think they'll catch Southampton, but I don't think they're going to be... I don't think 12 points is big. And especially for a relatively promoted team, we've seen how difficult it is for these clubs to get points. And you have to be good away from home as well as you are at home. 12 points is a big task to try and overcome. And I think it might be just out of their reach.
Is that confirmed?
Not
Like, it's not
confirmed. That's why it's an asterisk. Now it's still
Yeah.
because of financial fair play.
Yeah.
However, if they don't cop 12 points, I do believe they will survive relegation. But I'm only saying that because there's a big chance they will
Pick a
cop
position,
12
mate.
points.
Yeah, I think
Pick
it
a
was
spot,
pretty.
would ya?
It was pretty confident out there. I think they said most people they think it's going to happen. Don't know
Yeah.
how many points, but they think they're going to lose something.
Correct. So that's why I've got Leicester with an asterisk.
It was weird actually when it happened. Didn't they say if they remain in the championship, then they would guaranteed to start on negative 14 or whatever it was, 12 points. Now that in the Premier League, who knows?
Yeah.
I've gone a bit of a different route this year. We obviously saw all three promoted teams last year get relegated. I'm going to tell you, I've got two of them surviving.
Ooh.
So Leicester is not in my bottom three, and Ipswich is not in my bottom three. I've got Brentford 19th.
What?
Yep.
Brentford
This
19.
is kind of a bit of my bold prediction as well. So I might as well give you my unless Adam, you want to give me your 19, but
Give us the 19, Adam.
I did just put Ipswich down. I had the other way around. I think Leicester's actually going to creep out just maybe from just some. They've got close enough experience of being in this position a little bit. So, and then I think still some of those players are still in their squad. I just think that's hard, man. So once you just come back in again from being promoted, we even saw last year, I think those teams struggled just with the pace of the game, the strength of the game. There were a couple of results that went their way, but just from the get-go, they found it hard to cement their place in the league. So I think I'm going strong with Ipswich. I think it's 19th for me.
Brentford's an interesting one. I mean, the Brentford pod, you're not backing the boys. Is this on the basis that they think they will lose Tony and a couple others? I think they're big enough, strong enough, and ugly enough to recognise what the Premier League's about and have not a great season, but a surviving season.
Yeah, to be fair, they haven't lost anyone yet, unless they're waiting really to the end of the window.
have they really signed anyone? Like the season before, inspirational signing of Christian Eriksen helped them survive. Last year they finished 16th, right? And there was three absolute dog shit teams. To be fair, the three that got promoted, and no one was ever going to, fall in the bottom three. And the only one that really, or that was between them, finished 17th was Forest, and they snuck out of there.
Well, their new striker has joined them from Club Brugge, Thiago.
Yeah, they've just
I heard
signed
he
Fabio
might have got
Carvalho as well from Liverpool too. He had a good pre-season. And you've got Tony coming back from the beginning of the season if he's there.
If he's there. You don't know.
Yeah.
They did concede bad goals last year, but that was their big problem, right? Teams were just punishing them. So it just, it depends.
Hey.
But hey, you never know.
This is my, I know it's my table, it's also my bold prediction.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
That's
You
fair
don't like the
enough.
next
You
one
are
too.
allowed.
All right, moving on to 18th last. Just creeping into relegation zone.
Just creeping in. I've actually got Crystal Palace.
Oh.
Now, Elise gone. Look, he may stay. I think he's going to go. But now the reports are coming out that Gahey and Anderson are being hunted. They're two centre-backs. They're probably the two. Away from those two attacking players, Gahey and Anderson obviously were fantastic for them. If they lose even just one of those two at the back, I think they're going to be in a bit of a world of hurt. So, unfortunately, Palace, I think you're going to just creep into the relegation zone.
That's funny because guess what?
You agree?
I had him last year. I had him to finish bottom three last year, and then I didn't realise how bad the other three were. I've got him again this year. Obviously, losing Elise is huge. If they don't lose him, he has to stay fit. He has to stay fit for them to play well. And I think Mateta only just benefited off Elise and Eze last year. I don't think he's, top quality. And they didn't really talk about anyone else besides maybe, like you said, James, the two centre backs. So I don't know. I think the honeymoon's over for their caretaker manager, who,
He got the players in outstanding football. You got them. I mean, it was just free flowing that final third. It was just let the boys play.
And they're playing for nothing too.
But
Remember?
I mean, and I think if they lose and then if they lose even one of the two of their centre backs, yeah. Adam,
I had I might upset a couple of people, but I actually have FC
United.
Bournemouth as my
Bournemouth.
relegator. I think that United rough. I think Solanke leaving is a huge, and honestly, I think I'll get into it when we eventually reach Spurs, but that's a massive signing for you guys. He was really good last year, so I think he's going to miss them a lot.
It's funny you mentioned Spurs. Sorry, before we move on, we've probably got about 18 places until we reach them. So
Well, we'll take it easy. Yeah, relax. It's not that good. Solanke is good, not that good. No, but I think they're going to be in a bit of trouble. But I think it's going to be, like you mentioned, Palace. There's going to be a few teams that again fighting for that position. So, but yeah, I've put one within there.
Cool.
So I don't have to wait and see.
okay.
All right. So just surviving in 17th place, I've gone with Ipswich. They lost one game at home last year, and I think if you, especially for a promoted team, if you can really create a cauldron, really create a difficult place for opposition teams to come, I think it's going to benefit. Even if they're it's a different kettle of fish, like I said, in the Premier League. But if they can scrape a few wins at home and get a couple of draws at home, it's going to go a long way for them to survive. And I think that's what they'll do. And I think they'll just survive at 17th.
I don't know if you're copying my list here, but I've got Ipswich at 17 as well.
Wow, okay. Is that because they only lost one game at home last year?
100%. No, I don't know. I just obviously they played well last year. They got promoted in top two. Didn't have to go through the qualifiers or the playoffs like Southampton did. Their manager worked under Jose, a couple of others at Man United. So I think he's had a pretty good apprenticeship and he's obviously done very well with Ipswich last year. So, I've got him at 17.
I have gone with Nottingham Forest. Same place last year. They finished 17th as well last year, just creeped in. They were lucky that some of the really newly promoted teams actually had a bad run at the end of the season, so they just stayed in. I think they'll be fighting for sort of the same position again this year around. I just don't know if they have enough strength around the whole board. I think they're too busy hiring people to complain about VAR instead of worried about bit of their game time. So I've gone with Forest for number 17, just creeping out of relegation zone.
Well, it's funny you say that, Adam. Let's segue into my 16th position. I've got Forest. I just think they don't excite me. Unfortunately, I think Gibbs White is probably their the main man, and they kind of rely on him a bit too much. You probably agree, but I don't know. I think they'll be down and around. They'll have some good games, but they'll be tough to beat at home. But I think, I don't think anything exciting will happen. Stephen, 16th.
Leicester City.
Ooh.
Newly promoted. I think they'll have enough to survive. They retained a lot of their players when they went down. They have picked up someone like Harry Winks when they went down, helped them get back up. So I think they've got enough Premier League experience in there. They do have the new manager, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. I don't think they've had the best pre-season, but I think they've got enough quality in the squad to stay in the Premier League.
I have gone for 16th place, Everton. Sean Dyche football, I do not know if it's going to get them out of trouble again this year. They've also had a bit of trouble with the fair play situation, so I don't know if they're potentially in that market for losing points. It always seems that they're trying to creep their way out of trouble. They obviously signed Onana, which is a big signing for them. They spent a lot of money on him, so hopefully they can turn somewhere in their favour. But I just don't think it's enough to get them out of trouble again. There's too many strong teams ahead of them, so I think they're going to struggle. They always creep and they manage to find those 3 points occasionally just to keep them safe, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think they need a couple key signings that they just still haven't made, but everyone's obviously scared about overspending nowadays, besides Chelsea. So We have to wait. We have to wait. We have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. So yeah, Everton 16th for me.
That's big. That's big. 15th place, I've gone Fulham. I've gone single goal against Fulham. So we played, bro. So we played, man, I should say. So we played, man.
You know what I played against Fulham?
Fulham. Yeah, again, I think losing Polinia was a big loss. I think it's going to probably get found out. I know they made a decent signing in Emma Smith Rowe. I think it probably fits both player and club, to be fair. But I think they've lost some huge cog in their machine, especially in the middle of the park in Polinia, and they'll go into 15th place. And I think in saying that, going back to my Leicester with the asterisks, I would say they'll probably finish around 15th place if they don't lose at 12 points. Stephen, just stop typing because all I can hear in your microphone is...
Okay. I'm just marking down your rubbish. Where are we up to? 15?
Get a pen and paper.
Yeah, are we up to 15? Sorry?
Yeah,
I went Everton. They just don't excite me at all. I don't think they'll be in any scrap, along with a couple of teams that will be around here that will come to. I think it's just Sean Dyche. He knows how to, get him out of trouble. But I think Adam said they haven't really signed anyone.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I don't think they've retained a couple of players. They've got Jack Harrison back on loan, but he's no superstar, right? He's just another okay player that will make their team okay. Okay. Everton 15.
Everton 15. I have gone with Crystal Palace as my 15. I'm sort of hoping they prove me wrong. I've got a soft spot for Crystal Palace. I don't know why. I think it's because I put at the end of last year, I put Mateta in my FPL team, and he was sensational. Mateta Bruschetta put in my FPL team. It was unbelievable. So, like you said, they're going to be in a bit of trouble if they start losing all those players that are rumored to leave. Then it's going to be flush with cash, right, if all of these people leave. So it depends where they start allocating these funds, if they actually start looking to buy some new people, or Crystal Palace have a tendency to bring up their academy players. So we have to see what they work with, if they put money more towards facility, wages, the whole thing, or if they start spending big and start looking for that. But
that's the thing, they could get, because there's less than 3 weeks left, or there's about 3 weeks left of the transfer window. If they lose these players, on right in the last week or last few days of the transfer window, they're stuffed. They're not going to be able to replace these players. And that's the thing. You look at clubs like Palace, and we mentioned it a while ago when the film striker was Muniz, when he was on fire. Yeah. And it's kind of like these poor clubs, right? Like, you want these players to do really well, but also they do really well. Like Solanke, look at now. He killed it last year at Bournemouth. The bigger clubs are going to come and poach. Yeah. And I think problem is for Palace, like, who do they go and buy? And a club like that, you need to really start building a foundation of a particular style and structure where the system takes over the actual individuals, like what Villa did last season. Obviously, that's an extreme level to qualify for Champions League. But I don't think, because of the clock ticking with the transfer window coming up so soon, they're not going to have time to integrate these players they might want to bring in to develop a particular style or structure.
Yeah. All right, moving on to 14th. James, tell us.
14th place, which mentions Solanke, I've gone with Bournemouth. They've got to try and replace 19. He scored 19 goals in Premier League last year. They've got to try and replace 19 goals. And that's going to be tough, especially for a club like, again, no disrespect, but like Bournemouth, they're mid to bottom table team. It's hard to find a magical striker that's going to come in and do what Solanke did. They don't come off very often. But I think the imprints were put in place last year. They had a few decent wins. They went on quite a bit of a run. They were playing some decent football. I think they'll keep that pattern and style of play. If they can try and find a half-decent replacement for Solanke, I think they'll still be safe at 14th position.
There we go. Steve, who you got?
The game against Fulham.
What?
Fulham in 14th for me. Again, another one of those teams where I don't think they'll be, scrapping to get out of the bottom three, but I just don't think they've got losing Polinia. They have signed some decent players. Emil Smith Rowe, Sessegnon back from Spurs to Fulham, but have they really signed a replacement for Polinia? Don't think so.
I've gone with Wolverhampton. I've gone with Wolves as 14th.
Oh, okay.
Look, they've got some strong players up front, even after losing Neto. But Neto, for me, a bit too injury prone. He was very impactful when he first season started last year, but it's happened to him over time. And I think Chelsea spent big money on him just now, so we'll see if that pays off for them again.
How much? Do you know?
63.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was big.
That's huge.
Good for Wolves.
So we'll see. But, they've got Huang and they've got Cunha up front. But for me, I just don't know if they're going to be strong enough over the pitch. I think they tend to concede those late goals and also lose games, 1-2-0. They score some good goals, but I think they're not too strong over the pitch. So we'll see. But, yeah, they're 14th for me.
All right, 13th position. Coming to the rock solid middle of the pack now. I've gone with Brentford. Our boys, Brentford. I think, again, they're probably just a stable piece down the Premier League. They've earned their right to be a mid-table club, and I don't think they're going to, like I said before, they probably haven't brought in the players to do anything other than that, but I think they'll still be solid enough, again, wise enough to compete in and around the middle of the table. And you look at those clubs that sit around the middle of the table, like your Brentfords, your Wolves, like you just mentioned, Adam. How are they going to compete? You don't look at them up against your Cities and your Arsenals. You look at them, how they're going to compete with teams in around the middle and below. And I think they're still just better than those previously mentioned.
13, I've got Nottingham Forest, which you boys put quite low.
Yes.
I put Forest in there. I still think they've got some really decent players in there. Chris Wood knows how to find the bench. The back
yes.
of the net. Alanga, remember Alanga's there. Gibbs White, and the most important one for me is Nuno Espirito Santo. When he was at Wolves, everyone's forgetting how good Wolves were. They were finishing top half of the table consistently. He came in. They were in trouble last year. He's coming. He's survived. He's done his job. I think he can push on from there. Obviously not push on too far. I still think bottom half of the table, but I don't think he'll be too far down the bottom. So
I feel like when he was at Wolves, there's a special romance there. When he went to Spurs, no one believed that was going to last any more than 2 weeks. Even the Spurs. I don't think he even knows how he got the Spurs gig.
And we're not talking about him at Spurs, but
I'm just saying, ever since he left Wolves, I mean, he hasn't been.
People know what they're doing, mate.
He left Wolves, went to Spurs for 2 weeks, and now he's gone to Forest. It's not like he was at Forest for a whole season. He was there for the last couple of months.
He was in Stanley before that.
And he probably killed it too.
Sure. Adam, who you got?
I have Brighton as number 13. Yeah, I just think Pascal Group was sold to Dortmund recently. I think that is a massive loss for them. He was a major player for them in their midfield in the middle of the park, controlling everything. I think that was really big. I think they've just sent out Buonanotte as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I think that's another loss for him because I thought he was quite good as well. They struggled last year probably mainly on injuries. Matoma was out for a little while. So I guess for me, I would maybe put an asterisk like James just because I don't know where they're going to be at. But depends how they show up at the beginning of the season. But I think...
hey, you can't put an asterisk because you're not sure. I've put an asterisk pending the decision of a 12-point deduction, which is huge. You can't say, I'm not too sure, so I put an asterisk. What do you think this is?
Oh, look at that. There's an ostrich.
You're an ostrich.
You are an ostrich.
You are an ostrich.
Get out of here, mate.
I've got an asterisk on my top 20 here, guys, so I'm not too sure.
Honestly, I'm sick
Come back, I reckon. At the end of the season, I'll get them all right. Let's put it in.
You're an ostrich, mate.
Oh, find the clip.
All right. Right, well, what are we up to? 12?
Well,
Clean
12,
plays.
mate.
Let's clean it up. I've gone for Wolves. I actually think them getting rid of Neto for such a big price tag is going to help them. I think they're going to be able to obviously focus on the rest of the team and the rest of the squad now. He was in the squad last year, like you said, Adam. There were some times where they were attacking them. They're fantastic with the players that they still have. So 12th, I believe Wolves will still be solid in the mid-table.
All right, I'm going to speed it up even more. I've got Bournemouth at 12. They did play some exciting football last year. Doesn't help losing your number one striker, but I think they play really good football. So I've got them up there. And while I'm there, Wolves at 11. Same thing. I think O'Neill, manager, really got them going last year. And a bit what James said, they've got plenty of cash to spend on someone that hardly played last year. And they had a solid season last year. So hopefully they can build on that.
Wow. All right, I've gone into, this is looking good at number 12 in Leicester.
Wow.
Put them high, mate.
Huge.
Wow.
I'm surprised he didn't put him to win the league.
Mate. Yeah. Listen, 5,000 to 1 last time, wasn't it? They can do it again. 10,000 to 1 this time. They're going to do it, mate. I'm telling you. Steve Cooper in charge. Top of the league, I'm telling you. You know what I'm a little bit disappointed that I only found out today? They've loaned out Harry Suter. Did you know that?
I did see that today as well.
He's a big player.
He should be in the Prem, mate.
He's a big player, Suter.
Disappointed. I wanted to see him there. He was going to be my reserves for my FPL.
What do you do, mate? Principal captain.
I did.
11th, I've gone Everton. I think Everton, everyone's just kind of waiting for them to do something and start kicking back up to the middle of the table. I think this year, they're going to do it. Mid-table, Everton, resurgence.
Mid-table.
Well, compared to where they have been recently.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough for them. 11th was my Wolves.
Wolves,
bro. I've put the Brentford pod 11. I think Steve had mentioned 50-50. I think it could have a strong start. See how we go. Depends if they're selling people. So Brentford is my 11. I love that we've just put this on fast forward now.
Yeah. Get on with it.
Because we know we're into the top 10 now. This is where the juicy bits happen. 10th place, Brighton. 7.
10th place, Brighton.
Wow. My top 10 is pretty much last year's top 10, to be honest. There's just strong teams that are just in there. Besides these guys. Fulham is my number 10.
Oh, interesting.
Paulinho, they'll just put someone else in there. Don't worry. Rafinha, they'll find someone else. They'll put Brazilian someone, mate. Yeah, they'll put someone in. Not Terry, but they'll put another 6 in.
Terry McFlynn.
Someone do something.
Terry McFlynn.
Oh, brilliant.
Terry
fly.
Yeah. Oh, the other one, Terry McChicken. Double McChicken. Double raw McChicken. Anyway, moving on. 1st place, West Ham. I've got West Ham. I think, no surprises, middle of the table.
Yeah, I've got West Ham as well. They've made a few big signings.
Yeah.
But
yes,
they tend to do that, but then still be quite disappointing. Their fans think they're going to be top 4, but 9th place sounds about right for them.
I've actually put Newcastle in as my 9th.
Wow.
I think they've got some really good signs that could be promising, but I think last year, if anything goes to similar, they're injury prone. It goes sort of downhill from there, I think. So another asterisk from me.
Wow.
See how we go. We go either way. But Isaac is in my FPL team. Sneaky peek, mate. He's in there. So, yeah.
I've actually gone for 8th place. I've actually gone Newcastle.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, these next 3 positions, 8, 7, 6, but for me, it was a flip of the coin. Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa. Gone Newcastle only because I think I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced against the bigger team of them as of yet, and I think it's a big season for Eddie Howe. And unfortunately, it's not my bold prediction, but I think he'll be one of the managers under heavy scrutiny come Christmas time. I think Newcastle.
Not bad.
Interesting. 8th place, I've got Villa.
I actually had Villa 8th place right before, and then I changed it.
Villa. Big
Yeah.
season for them.
Yeah.
Big season for them. Champions League football. They're going to have their mind on that. It's going to be so difficult for them to juggle both, have pretty much their full-strength side playing twice a week. They're going to need their whole squad this year, and I don't think they've got the squad to compete with the rest of the teams above them, especially because a lot of them don't have to play their full-strength side each week like Chelsea, Spurs, like they're playing Europa League. They probably will rotate their squad more than Villa will.
Mhm.
I think they overachieved a lot last year. They were fantastic, but I think they overachieved, and it's going to be difficult for them this year. Villa 8.
I put Chelsea as 8. I think they finished at 6 last year. They've obviously gone through the roof with signings again this year. It's just sort of in and out domino effect with Chelsea. They've had a rough preseason. Sometimes preseason doesn't mean too much, and you're just settling in. But they've had some bad results, and things just seem to not go their way with that club at the moment. So I'm not giving them too much hope. So I put them out as 8th.
Bravo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
7th place. I've gone 8th for 7th. I've gone Chelsea.
Can agree. I've got Chelsea as well. A lot of fresh faces again. I think if they'll probably be aiming for top 6 this year. If they sneak in there, it'll be much, much improved from the last 2 seasons where they've been terrible. 7th for me, though.
I think they need a season to settle. It's been turbulent for many different reasons, from off on the pitch to off the pitch, and then there's season to settle. I think 7th place they'll take, especially ahead of Newcastle, and I think 7th place for them.
Fair enough. I have gone with Manchester United as 7th place. I don't know. It's one of those things again, right? It's just, like you said, James, there's a couple in these sort of areas that are just very close. For me, United, there'll be a couple of good games, but I do like their transfer window at the moment. I think they're doing pretty well. So sort of depends, but a lot of injuries too. They've just signed, is it Yoro, the one they brought in? Already injured now after 3 months.
Zorro.
That's this Mexico thing. Now Zorro is gone with a flash Zorro. But they signed him, but then they've just brought in the lit. So then, so
that's
it's
big
not
signing.
too bad. Yeah, it's pretty good. So have to wait and see. But United's 50-50.
6th place. I've gone Villa. I understand, obviously, the distraction now of European football, Champions League football. However, I think they've made some good signings. I think they're going to play some of their signings that they've got coming in, like Cameron Archers in your FA Cups and your Carling Cup games. And I think Unai Emery has been there, done that, and I think he will be the cool head amongst them all. And I think he will guide them to a 6th place finish, which will be respectable with their European distractions.
Definitely respectable. Definitely.
Yes.
But there's just so many good teams in the Premier League. That top 8, and hopefully West Ham knocking on the door, is huge. I went Newcastle at number 6. Someone remind me, are they playing any European football, Conference League, anything?
It's Europa. No?
Europa?
Yeah, they come. Yeah,
When
7th
they
again
finish.
last year. Yeah, 7th.
Yep.
Okay. Again, they've got the opportunity to change their squad. Eddie Howe will be playing their best players on, the Premier League fixtures. We saw the season before, they finished in the top 4. They did surprise everyone, but they have to keep building if they're going to, want to establish themselves as a top 4 team. I don't think they'll make it top 4 this year. If they stay injury-free, they had plenty of injury problems. A bit like Spurs as well. And a lot of teams, to be fair, had a lot of injury problems. If they stay injury-free, especially the defence, I can see them pushing for the top 4. But I got them at 6th.
Speaking of Newcastle quickly, I actually saw a stat today that Eddie Howe is actually the most likely coach to actually be sacked first this year,
That's why I've got them at
which
8th.
is wild, right? So
I
we'll have to wait and see what
don't
happens with him.
think they can
I think
take it to
he
the next
he
step.
leaves. I think he automatically gets the England job. Just putting it out there. You
Wow.
got to be first. So, all right, for 6th, I had Villa as well. Steve said they got a lot of game time, so we'll have to see how they approach that. But Villa's slotting in at 6.
All right,
I thought you're gonna give us a better stat about Newcastle, like Santiago Munez or Gavin Harris. They haven't been the same since then.
Listen, I've got my Munez jersey ready to put it on, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's coming on the pod soon.
Gavin's coming to Gold Rush.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
5th.
top 5.
Oh my god.
This
Top
It's
five,
getting juicy now.
This is when it gets juicy.
Fast forward top 2.
I've gone with Liverpool.
Oh,
And let me tell you why. And I think Liverpool would just miss out the top 4. And it's because it's very difficult to lose someone that they loved who was there for 9 years. And then another person will say, oh, he's not going to do a bad job. I think he's going to do a fantastic job. And I think he'll be there for quite a few years. To come in and change. Everything changes. And there will be games where Liverpool will drop points purely not from a lack of effort, but from a lack of understanding with the new personnel that's been put in. And I think that's why they will just miss out on the top 4.
nice. Very nice. Top 5, 5th place, Manchester United. Manchester United. I think a bit like Newcastle, I think if they can stay fit, they'll do well. But they've already, like Adam said, they've already got some injuries to worry about. They have to do better than they did last year. I reckon if they're not anywhere near the top 4 in the first couple of, say, 10 games, I wouldn't be surprised if Olmate gets the flick as manager. I don't know. I think I got this feeling about Man United this year that they'll be pushing for the top 4. And they should be. And so they should be, to be
Manchester
fair.
United.
It's Manchester United. 5th for me.
Can I just say, they played very well against Manchester City in the Community Shield the other day.
They did.
They gave them a hard time. So, yeah, you could be right, Steve. They could show us, it's the young boys. You never know. Then they've got some veterans too, huh? You never know. 5th place, I have gone West Ham United. West Ham, you had mentioned that the big signings that they have done. You wait and see.
Who's dropped his laptop?
Wait and see. You wait and see.
Are you alright?
You wait and see.
Oh my
goodness.
You know what, Adam? For your benefit, I hope so. But
Honestly,
I'm sorry.
Wait and see.
Have you, Bowen's on his way to Madrid right now. Who have they got?
That's what I mean. They've still got him. So it's going to be incredible.
Wow. Adam.
That's a big sign.
Wow.
Adam.
I'm giving a lot of benefit out here. A lot of faith in
That's serious.
Who's got faith in?
You got 5th place or relegated.
Oh my God.
You've got my own opinion here, mate. I'm going 5th place West Ham.
Wow.
Okay. Let's move on from that. 4th place, I have Manchester United. I think it's make or break time for Ten Hag. And I think with the players that he's brought in, like you mentioned before, Delete, I think he's coming as a big signing. Again, I think they're a bit more settled. They're going to be a bit more settled this year. I think obviously with the new owners coming in, it's either going to be rocks or diamonds. I think he's going to take it on as a challenge. It could be a bit more settled with that. They've given him that confidence that, yes, you've got another year. I think he will prove them right and get them into the top 4.
I think they've just got more of a complete squad this year. They've got solid defenders, they've got good midfielders, and they've bought a couple of people up front who could make a difference. So let's go.
So top 4 for me.
My 4th place are the Mighty Spurs. The Mighty Spurs, top 4. Not so mighty,
Pretty-
but the Spurs, top four.
Above West Ham, that's all right.
Exactly. Yeah, fourth or relegated.
Yeah, you can put Liverpool
Um,
first place with 100 points.
Centurions.
Been there before, do it again. No, I think you guys, you could have a good season. We'll have to wait and see.
Thanks.
I think
That's what I mean.
yeah, it could be 50
Yes,
for me. Ange
50-50
Ball,
asterisks.
I think Ange Ball is settled in now. He's going to have a good start. I think he's made some good signings, got rid of some people that doesn't need to be there. I think you guys could actually have a good season. You'll be Champions League football, I think.
Okay.
I think.
7-4.
it's
Very
Spurs
nice.
football.
I've got Liverpool to come in fourth.
Make me sick.
What? Champions League football
I've got you fifth.
above West Ham.
Yeah, I already ignored me. You should.
Liverpool, and they've still got the quality. I think last summer they brought in some refreshed players. A year under their belt. It will be a different system though, but I think they've got enough squad to, be pushing up again. But fourth for me. Not too high, Adam. Not too high.
It's still pretty high.
Thank
Too
Third
high.
place, bronze medal. I've gone Spurs. I think.
Even Steve's laughing.
There's only 3 teams that I hadn't mentioned, so I had to be one of the fucking 3. That's a bit one of the 3. I'm very excited to Dominic Solanke. I've heard that obviously it was Ange's choice, not the club's choice to bring him in. It was a signing that Ange wanted. I'm glad to see that I've backed him with that. I'm excited to see if they will bring in any more. I know they brought in a couple of the younger players, but I think seeing what they did last year, and again, like Steve mentioned, the massive injury problems. We had at one stage 11 first graders out, and 9 of those 11 were first teamers out at one stage. I think if we can keep the guys fit, I don't think we're there yet to obviously challenge for top 2. I think we're another year or 2 off that, provided all things go well. But I'm very excited to see what Solanke can bring. I think they're calling it the Kane replacement. Can't really replace Kane, but I'm really hoping we don't get rid of Richarlison. I think we need that depth. I think we need that competition at training for that number 9 spot, and like in any position. And I think Andy's starting to bring in players where he's generating that competition off the pitch to own your spot on the pitch, and it's gonna really pay dividends. So I think that's why Spurs get into the top 3.
I don't think Richie will go. I think he hasn't had the best of time at Spurs, and he would like to prove himself that he can still compete at a top side like Spurs, even with another striker coming in. I don't think he will be starting majority of the games, but he's a fighter. He's a fighter, and that's why it's important for Spurs to keep him as well.
We've got Europa League as well, so he's going to get game time.
100%. 100%. Plenty of games to play. And who knows, Solanke can get injured. There's no guarantee he's going to stay fit all season. So everyone's important.
You got third Spurs.
I've got Arsenal third.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Bronze
I
medal.
think bronze medal for Arsenal. Congratulations to them. I still think it's a bit high for them, but third place. I think they've run their race up the top. I know my friends will be very happy to hear this. And they're going to be clipping this. And they're going to be playing it again in 38 weeks' time. But let me tell you something. They won't be challenging for the title this year.
Wow.
Wow.
It's not even a bold. I don't know where you're wearing from. It's not even a bold prediction. It's just reality.
Okay.
There you go.
And they've signed some dodgy Italian too. It's no good.
He's got long hair, that's about it.
He's got long hair. He's got nice.
Unbelievable.
Honestly, he's got fantastic hair. And if I was ranking 1 to 20 in hair, he would be number 1. But yeah, no, they're third for me.
Valid point. Great hair. Great player.
Ten Hag number 2. Who you got for third place, Adam?
You gotta love this one. And as Stephen just said, I think they've run their race.
Ooh.
Manchester City is my third place. Man, I think they have run their time out.
Wow.
And I
This
think
is
just
huge.
the start of it Look, I think they'll probably sign someone stupid now after this. Everyone's going to hear me say this. Julian Alvarez has obviously just been sold to Atletico Madrid for stupid money, but you need a backup for Haaland. But I just think they've been competing for so long, and I think that selling him is the start of just like a domino effect. And I think people are starting to give him a bit more of a hard time than they have. Then again, they tend to play their best football right towards the end of the season and give everyone a hard time. But
you're actually going to put Liverpool first. I can't believe it.
No.
Why not? Back yourself.
No.
Bro.
Put Spurs third. Give me a break, mate. But yeah, City for me is third. I don't think they're going to be strong contenders. I think it'll be a hard time, top three as always, but I don't think they'll be holding the trophy.
That's big. Second place, I've got Arsenal. I think they'll only again get slightly better. I think they'll only get closer to City. I can't knock City off the top place, unfortunately. I think Arsenal, again, like I said, sign the Italian at the back. They've still got some of the best defenders in the league, especially considering last year. You win leagues off your defence. I think they do need a couple of more attacking, exciting players to start, competing with City. But I think they're going to be an ever-present. The fact is as well, I think with Arsenal too, what's good about it is that they don't. The teams at home they come up against where other teams might fumble and drop points and whatnot, they will beat those teams again and again and again. It's how they compete again in the big games, and I think that's going to be the question mark over them. So, like we saw, was it Villa late in the season? They beat them or got a 2-2 draw?
Yeah, twice. But not just that, when they came up against City in a very, very important game with only about 8 games to go. And they got a draw, and they were very happy with the draw. Was it Rodri that came out at the end of the season? Was like, you could tell the mentality between Man City and Arsenal. They were happy to not lose the game instead of trying to win the game.
And I think that's where that's the difference in City. That's my second place, Stephen.
Hey, very nice, very good. I was going to be a fuckwit, but I am going to put Spurs in second place.
Yeah.
I think the top two will be clear this year. I think it'll be between City. I love him. I think it'll be between City and Spurs. No one will come close. They'll both hit 100 points.
Adam said West Ham fifth on your joke. You are an ostrich, mate.
You know what? I'll put Liverpool second. I'll put a second.
You got to write him down as first place, don't you? He does.
I'll shoot you, but
from what I've seen so far in pre-season, I think we're playing good. It's different football to what we were used to playing. I noticed it today for the first time. We actually played 2 separate games, and we have like a starting 11, like a solid starting 11 for both teams. So we definitely have a lot of depth. We can play exciting football, but I actually do think, as much as I hate to say it as well, this might be Arsenal's year. They play very good football. As much as I hate to say it, I think they've been strong contenders for a while, and I think it'll be hard this year. And they did well in Champions League too, so we'll have to wait and see. But I'm definitely not putting City as first, so we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I've got City at first for obvious reasons. I think.
You are
the ostrich.
To that question, you are an ostrich.
I've gone City first place. I think Haaland is going to want to bounce back after last year. I think he thinks he's better than what he put out last year. He's going to have a big year. Rodri is just a cut above. I think if he stays fit, something else. De Bruyne is going to be his last year in the Premier League. I think he's going to want to make end with a bang. And I just think even still defensively, they've got some of the biggest names in the league. So City, And there's a reason why as well, but I'm going to save it for my bold prediction, which I've got.
Very nice. Adam, maybe this is a stat you can try and find later on, but how many games did Haaland, De Bruyne, and Rodrigue play together last year? I feel like they didn't play
Not
very
many.
often. So if they stay fit, we know their backline is solid. They stay fit, it could be anything
Foden.
again this year.
Yeah,
You got Foden. We're forgetting
We're forgetting
Player of the
Foden.
year.
the player of the year.
Bernardo Silva is, for me, he's one of my favourite players in that City team. He's unbelievable.
Can I change my answer?
Who? West Ham first.
This their team. My
Yeah, I want to change. Fulham.
West Ham.
Are we good?
Bravo.
We're done.
All right. Bravo. That's,
Hey, congratulations.
That's our top 20. Now, bold prediction. Now, I'll tell you my bold prediction.
Okay.
This is why I'm saying City will win the league. Pep will leave straight after the end of the season. Gone.
There
He
you
will
go.
pick up his 5th title in a row, just like our mate Peter Penn. He scores a double, scores the equaliser penalty in the last second. He's going to walk off the field, pick up his bag, take his trophies, and fuck off.
He'll be in Mexico with Klopp, a couple of beers on the
That's
beach.
right. He's going to go
Bravo.
home. He's going to win the 5th title. He's going to trophy. He's going to take it, and he is going to leave the day after. Say, I'm tired. I've deserved the break. I've got 5. See you later. That's my bold prediction.
You
I
did the
tend
podcast first,
to, I know
mate.
it's bold, but I tend to agree with it. I tend to agree. He's been there for quite a long time. Compared to his
Yeah.
other clubs, he's been there for a very long time. If he wins 5 Premier Leagues in a row, that is an incredible achievement. And him and De Bruyne will be holding hands walking into the sunset together.
Yep. Because we cannot replace him.
You can't
We
replace him.
cannot replace him.
We cannot replace him.
So that's my bold prediction. It ties in with why we've got City at first place. What's your bold predictions?
Well, I kind of went like when we're going through the lists for 2 of the promoted teams to stay up. That is kind of my bold prediction. But if I had to pick a manager to be sacked first, that's a very interesting one. And I don't know if you would go with Eddie Howe, but would it surprise you if Chelsea sacked their manager again?
Yeah. Because like enough's enough. Surely, like how many
But
times?
we've been saying that for the last 5 managers.
I know, but it's like me saying Everton's going to finish 11th because like enough's enough. Surely they're going to start making their way up the table.
I'm not going to comment anything on Chelsea for the whole year because it's just unpredictable. You just never know, mate. You never know. Leave him in the spotlight.
So what's your
Never
bold prediction, Stephen? That Chelsea going to sack their manager first?
No, mine's the bottom 3. 2 of
Okay.
them will stay up.
Bravo.
Okay. Adam?
Mine is, I'm going for Golden Boot, actually. He's going to be my bold prediction.
Ooh,
Darwin.
Here we go.
Darwin, here we
I'd
go.
love to
No.
be Darwin, but actually, I don't think he's even going to start now. We were playing in the reserve team today. I'm going Solanke Golden Boot.
Oh,
I think-
you're a big Spurs fan.
I think that this signing is something that needed to happen. That everyone was talking about Tony to be the perfect number 9, everything. You're right. He played for Bournemouth. He scored 19 goals last year. You've just put him in a team with Son, Madison. It depends how much he links in with Werner and what's his name, Johnson on the
Johnson.
right hand side. I
Kulusevski.
think he could be scoring a lot of goals. Well, Pedro Porro setting him up. Doggy setting him up. It depends the way the Ange plays. I think this guy would score a lot of goals. So I think, and it's not even for the money you actually paid for him for his stats. I think it's actually not too bad in today's market. So he's gonna have a really big year if he stays fit.
For an English
Huge,
striker.
Premier League proven.
Yeah,
Striker.
that didn't even make the England squad.
He's
So
only
I think that
mid-20s as well, so his best years are still ahead of him.
yeah, that's my prediction.
Bravo.
Very exciting signing.
Very big. All right.
Did you want
there
to
you
touch
go.
on fantasy, James?
Yes, well, I obviously want to touch on fantasy. It's got, we've got, I think, about 30 contenders at the moment, which is fantastic. So don't forget, we're running our inaugural Coach of Sun podcast, FPL. We'll keep on sharing the code. We'll keep on sharing the link. Make sure you join before round 1. I think 3:30 Saturday morning or 3:30 a.m. Saturday morning is the cutoff to get your teams in. So make sure you do that so you're not behind the 8 ball. There's some big prizes to be won. But yeah, I believe we've got about 30, if not more than 30 now. I haven't checked this afternoon. With some hopeful. So make sure you've got your teams in.
Yeah, hopefuls.
But do a nice little link again. We keep shooting it on our socials in case you've missed it. So we're doing it. We'll probably put it up every day until the prem starts. So it's going to be out there for you to see. Don't miss out, everybody.
And if you triple captain someone this week, we'll give you a shout out on the pod.
Bravo.
Big.
Bravo.
Maybe even get a mug if you're lucky.
Yeah. Please. Hurry up, stop.
Got a West Ham 5th place mug.
Oh, my days. All right. Well, that was a nice, supposed to be short episode, turned to a long episode.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Everyone, two-parter.
Clip it.
Chupapi. Sure. Now, what? Thanks everyone for listening.
Oh, we're still on.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I've had enough for you.
You are an ostrich.
25, 20, 26 predictions. Let's go.
Yeah.
Don't forget your asterisks.
bring on the Premier League, baby.
It's back, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
This was not